Right, let's jump straight into this. Welcome to this elite masterclass focused entirely on cracking the code of the Cambridge AS-level Afrikaans language syllabus 8679. Specifically, we are targeting a module that causes absolute headaches for students worldwide, presentation content, and specifically, demonstrating knowledge of Afrikaans-speaking countries. Look, if you're aiming for those top-tier marking bands, you need to know exactly how the examiners think, how they grade, and where the traps are hidden. It's not just about what you know, it's about how you show it. Get ready because we are going to dismantle this topic piece by piece, decode the command words, and build an unstoppable exam strategy.
I want to hook your attention immediately with a quote straight from the Principal Examiner Report. Listen closely to this. Examiners report that presentation content is one of the most misunderstood areas. Candidates consistently confuse key terminology. Okay, this is the high-stakes reality, guys. This isn't just about memorizing facts about Afrikaans-speaking countries. It is about how you present, analyze, and structure that knowledge under pressure. This quote reveals the exact battlefield where most students bleed crucial marks. We are putting on our examiner lenses today to make sure you absolutely aren't one of them. We're going to look at the anatomy of the questions that trip people up the most.
So here is our masterclass blueprint for today. First, we'll look at examiner warnings. Second, core principles. Third, a 6-step methodology. Fourth, critical analysis. And finally, avoiding those exam day traps.
Let's move right into Section 1, the examiner's warnings.
Let's look directly at what the principal examiners have flagged year after year. Because honestly, learning from the mistakes of past candidates is the ultimate shortcut to success. What's truly fascinating here is how avoidable these errors actually are. The source data reveals the top 3 fatal mistakes. Number 1, using the wrong approach for the context. This means memorizing a generic essay and just forcing it onto a highly specific question. Number 2, forgetting to check format and presentation. You could literally have the most brilliant insights about South African or Namibian culture, but if your presentation format is flawed, you lose marks. And number 3, providing answers that are not context-specific. If the question asks about a specific socioeconomic issue in an Afrikaans-speaking region, a broad, generalized summary simply won't cut it. You have to anchor your knowledge to the specific parameters given in the prompt.
Moving on to Section 2, core theoretical principles.
So how do we avoid those fatal mistakes? We need to shift gears into the theoretical architecture required to actually build a top-tier exam response. To illustrate this, let me introduce you to 2 student archetypes I work with all the time. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Now, Alex is highly technical, right? Excels at facts, knows every detail about Afrikaans dialects, but struggles with open-ended evaluation. Then you have Sam. Sam is a creative thinker, strong at broad arguments, but struggles with structural precision and timing. Imagine them in our digital study suite, tackling a complex, high-tariff 15-mark question. Alex wants to just list definitions, Sam wants to write a philosophical essay. But the syllabus emphasizes that top-performing students exhibit a connected, conceptual understanding. Mastery rests on 3 pillars. First, precise definitions. Alex is right about that part. Ambiguity is your absolute enemy. Second, identifying causal relationships. Don't just say X happened. Say X occurred, which directly caused Y due to these factors. And third, integrating cross-topic connections. The principal examiner reports explicitly state that candidates who reference connections across different syllabus areas achieve significantly higher marks.
This perfectly illustrates the 3 cognitive domains that the exam targets, and this is what Alex and Sam usually debate. Look at this breakdown. First is knowledge and understanding. These are your foundational facts. But facts alone won't get you an A grade. Second is analysis, the systematic breakdown. Third is evaluation, which requires evidence-based reasoning. Let's deeply contrast the command words here, because this is where the anatomy of the question matters. If a question says analyze, it wants you to deconstruct the parts and show how they relate. But if it says evaluate, you must judge the value or success of something based on evidence. It's a massive difference. Same with explain versus to what extent. Explain just means making something clear. To what extent demands you weigh up competing arguments and give a final justified verdict. Examiners award method marks for this multi-stage analysis. They actively want to see your brain working on the page across these domains simultaneously.
And that brings us to a fundamental rule of this masterclass: superficial breadth versus analytical depth. In our scenario, Alex's approach of listing every single fact they know about an Afrikaans-speaking country is superficial breadth. It is incredibly tempting to just list everything to show off your studying. Do not do this. Sam's approach is closer, but lacks the structured analytical depth. The academic benchmarks for this syllabus prioritize deep, logical, structured reasoning about a few key points over a shallow list of 50 random facts. You need assessment objectives 1, 2, and 3 working in harmony. Remember this, write it down. Depth proves mastery, breadth just proves memory.
Let's dive into Section 3, the 6-step methodology.
Before we break down the practical core of our masterclass, I need to pause our session for a quick second. If you are serious about cracking these high-tariff questions, you need to hit that subscribe button right now for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and A levels at handle acetheexam_IGCS. Enable all notifications, hit the bell, so you never miss a weekly Cambridge breakthrough strategy. We drop these game-changing tactics constantly, and you want them in your feed. Okay, let's get back to it. I am going to introduce a standardized 6-step sequence to systematically process questions and secure those vital method marks. Step 1 and 2, deconstruct the question and extract your relevant data. Step 3 and 4, select your analytical framework and execute. Step 5 and 6, verify your results and present with terminology. Now, let's look at our scholars, Alex and Sam. They are actively drafting a model response paragraph by paragraph on screen, but they just hit a massive roadblock at step 3 and 4. Sam is jumping wildly between points, completely losing track of time, and Alex's paragraphs aren't linking at all. They are stuck.
This is where I step in as the coach to unstick them, and I want you to pay close attention to this cognitive strategy. Alex and Sam's answer is flawed because they ignored strict presentation conventions. Practical application develops professional skills, so I tell them, we rewrite this out loud right now. We add proper headings to guide the examiner's eye. We swap out their basic words for the precise terminology we extracted in Step 2. We apply the appropriate format, and we use clear annotations. By doing this out loud, transitioning from their mediocre draft to a flawless response, the magic happens. Data interpretation requires extracting evidence to draw valid conclusions, and your presentation conventions, the headings, the format, are the authoritative vehicle that delivers those conclusions directly to the examiner. It's not just window dressing, it is the structural integrity of your argument.
Moving to Section 4, Executing Critical Analysis.
Okay, we are entering an immersive visual workshop right now. We are diving into the most challenging cognitive domain, how to evaluate information and construct an argument that unlocks those elusive top-marking bands. I want you to look at the screen and ask yourself this question: what exactly makes a top-tier comparative analysis? Imagine I've just put a complex data chart on the board comparing language demographics in different Afrikaans-speaking regions. You have a 60-second visual countdown timer ticking down in your head. The pressure is on. When you are asked to demonstrate knowledge of these countries, you will almost certainly have to compare regions, historical periods, or cultural phenomena. How do you do it in a way that absolutely blows the examiner away before that timer hits 0?
For Scene 2 of our workshop, let's spot the flaw. I'm looking at a poorly written student answer right now. Can you spot the 3 massive errors? Well, here's your elite comparative analysis checklist to guide you. First, the student only pointed out differences. You must identify similarities and differences. Finding nuanced similarities shows incredibly high-level thinking. Second, they used basic and but phrasing. You need comparative connectives, words like however, conversely, or in parallel. Third, they made claims without proof. You must support each comparison with concrete evidence from the source text. And fourth, the biggest trap of all, they just ended the paragraph. No, you must draw conclusions on relative importance. Don't just leave the facts hanging. Tell the examiner which similarity or difference actually matters the most and why. That is how you turn a C-grade paragraph into an A-star analysis. Part of that top-tier analysis is aggressively evaluating the quality of the evidence you are looking at. You need to interrogate the source data like an investigator. Ask yourself, what are the limitations of this source material? Is it outdated? Is the sample size too small? What assumptions is the author hiding? Are there alternative interpretations to this data that aren't immediately obvious? And finally, how do these specific factors affect the ultimate conclusions you can draw? When you actively question the stimulus material, rather than just passively accepting it, you signal to the Cambridge examiner that you are a critical, high-level thinker who isn't falling for their traps. Finally, Section 5, Avoiding Common Traps.
Exam day execution is all about keeping your cool and having a cognitive strategy to lock in this knowledge. So I am flashing a massive examiner alert on the board for this one. Pay close attention. We saw this in the opening quote, candidates consistently confuse key terminology. The fix, it's simple but crucial. Always define your key terms before you use them in extended responses. If you are going to base a whole paragraph around a specific cultural or socioeconomic concept related to African-speaking countries, give a concise definition first. It proves you know exactly what you are talking about, it anchors your entire argument, and it leaves absolutely no room for the examiner to doubt your foundational knowledge. Before we wrap up, let's check back in with Alex and Sam. After going through this, Alex finally realized that pacing and structure actually make the facts shine, and Sam figured out that without foundational definitions, all those creative arguments just fall apart. To synthesize this entire masterclass, I want to give you 3 core memorable pillars. First, the 3-step question scan. Always deconstruct the command word. Second, the paragraph balance formula. Always pair evidence with analysis. And third, the last 5 minutes review checklist, checking your formatting and terminology. I challenge you to take these pillars and create your own memory hack or acronym tonight. Creating your own mnemonic device is scientifically proven to trigger immediate recall under the intense time pressure of a real exam.
Here's your final checklist. Crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent strategy, so I am asking you to do this right now. Hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and A levels at handle AceTheExam_IGCSE. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our future exam hacks. Once you've done that, go practice these past paper questions using the exact framework we discussed today. Knowledge without application is completely useless. And make sure you join us for the next masterclass where we'll tackle another highly complex topic.
I'm going to leave you with one final provocative question. Out of the 6 methodological steps we covered today, which one are you going to actively implement in your very next past paper practice to guarantee you secure those method marks? Is it deconstructing the question better? Is it verifying your results? Go down to the comments right now, leave your target grade, and tell me which step you are committing to. Pick one, focus on it, and watch your exam performance absolutely transform. Keep analyzing, keep practicing, and study smart.